Hello and welcome to season 9 of the Friday Night Hangout. I am your host, Joy Danielson. In this season, I will share insights on celebrating new seasons, clarity of vision, taking results-focused action, effective time management, and I will also show you how to honor team members and support systems who are very integral to your life's journey. I invite you to come prepared for a conversation in this season and to also invite your loved ones to join in the conversation. As you know, we focus on winning together. Make it a date with me every Friday night at 7 p.m. West African time on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I also look forward to hanging out with you every Friday night, so don't miss any of our conversation. And as always, I love, honor, and celebrate you. See you on Friday.
Oh yeah, it's a Friday night. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginnings. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday. It's Friday night hangout. Let's celebrate. A season of new beginnings. Let's rejoice. Thank God it's Friday.
Hello and welcome to season 9 of the Friday Night Hangout. I am your host, Joy Danielson. In this season, I will share insights on celebrating new seasons, clarity of vision, taking results-focused action, effective time management, and I will also show you how to honor team members and support systems who are very integral to your life's journey. I invite you to come prepared for a conversation in this season and to also invite your loved ones to join in the conversation. As you know, we focus on winning together. Make it a date with me every Friday night at 7 p.m. West African time on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I also look forward to hanging out with you every Friday night, so don't miss any of our conversation. And as always, I love, honor, and celebrate you. See you on Friday. Hello and welcome to season 9 of the Friday Night Hangout. I am your host, Joy Danielson. In this season, I will share insights on celebrating new seasons, clarity of vision, taking results-focused action, effective time management, and I will also show you how to honor team members and support systems who are very integral to your life's journey. I invite you to come prepared for a conversation in this season and to also invite your loved ones to join in the conversation. As you know, we focus on winning together. Make it a date with me every Friday night at 7 p.m. West African time on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I also look forward to hanging out with you every Friday night, so don't miss any of our conversation. And as always, I love, honor, and celebrate you. See you on Friday. Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Friday Hello and welcome to season 9 of the Friday Night Hangout. I am your host, Joy Benito. In this season, I will share insights on celebrating new seasons, clarity of vision, taking results focused action, effective time management, and I will also show you how to honor team members and support systems who are very integral to your life's journey. I invite you to come prepared for a conversation in this season and to also invite your loved ones to join in the conversation. As you know, we focus on winning together. Make it a date with me every Friday night at 7 p.m. West African time on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. I also look forward to hanging out with you every Friday night. So don't miss any of our conversation. And as always, I love, honor, and celebrate you. See you on Friday. Okay, let's see how it goes. The network is really super crazy today, but let's see how it goes. Let's try to make the most of our time together. Good evening. Welcome to the first Friday in the month of March. And you can see me just smiling away. You know why? March is a special month for me. March is what we call the Women's Month. So this is the month where we get to, you know, assess how far we've traveled um, down the life journey as women and some of the issues we have, looking at the gaps, and then being intentional about developing ourselves and our business or our career. So the month of March is a special month for women all over the world. So welcome to the month of March. And in keeping with the season, we're going to spend the month of March discussing power woman. What does it mean to be a power woman? Who is a power woman? And of course, if you're familiar with my show, you would know that power would always have its own meaning. So we're going to spend the month of March looking at that and looking at, how we can take the actions. Remember last month we talked about inspired actions. So this month we're going to look at how do we translate those actions into manifestation of our goal. I can see you, Confidence and Judeka, Ozioma, Mr. Shola. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And if I don't call your name, please do my apologies in advance. It's not intentional. And I want to celebrate someone I see here tonight for the first time. OGV, Onyeso, I see you. Thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate your support tonight. And I love you and celebrate you tonight. Okay. What does it really mean to be a power woman? Are we talking about a woman who is aggressive, who throws her weight around? What do we really mean when we say you are a power woman? What do we mean? Now, being a power woman is being intentional. It means that you're living a very intentional life. You understand your purpose. You are also deliberately impacting on the lives of people around you. You're creating a community of empowered women. You're creating a community of empowered individuals around you. And I want to look at the alphabets in the word power. We have the P, we have the O, we have W, we have E, and then we have R. So in this month of March, we're going to be taking each of the alphabet and looking at what it really means. So tonight we're going to start off with P. Good evening, Chiamaka. Nice to have you here. So we're going to start with P. And P means principled. So power, woman. So we mean P, principled woman. O, organized woman. W, wealthy woman. E, empathetic woman. R, resilient woman. So when we say you're a power woman, it means that you have all these 5 attributes. You're principled, you're organized, you're wealthy, you're empathetic, and you're resilient. So we're going to really unpack each of these words. What does it mean to be principled? Let's start off with that this week. The very thing I would like you to think about, the analogy I like to give you, I don't know how many of you understand a compass. If you've seen a compass, I know most science students would have seen a compass. You know a compass, that instrument that tells you direction. It tells you which way is north, which way is south, which way is east, which way is west. And pilots use it, you also even use it with your map, because it's like a map. It's actually a map. It gives you direction, where to go to, the route to take. It tells you which direction. That is what principle is in our lives. So I will just say in very simple terms that if you're principled, it means that you have a guiding beacon that directs the actions you take, directs how you show up. It directs everything about you. And foundational to being principled is having a value system. Having a value system. I want us to look at Nigeria. Let's look at Nigeria. We just came out of the general elections, right? And we see the whole thing happening, people, we saw voter suppression, disenfranchisement, a whole lot of things that came out from the general elections. And the key question is, one who is principled, would you engage in certain things? If you have principles, it directs you. So when you see someone who has a solid value system, you would see it even the way the person acts, the way the person engages, the way the person speaks, the kind of things the person show up for, the kind of thing the person even sign up for. These days, you look at the social media, that go with a lot of things. People poke nose into things that do not concern them. If you have that kind of principle that you don't put your mouth into what is not your business, you mind your business, you focus on your lane. You wouldn't be in everybody's lane. It keeps you mentally stable. Now, one of the principles I have in life is to be true to myself. So I want you to start reflecting on some of the principles you have. Remember that we're talking about power woman. And I said that for the P, we're looking at a principled woman. So for you to be a power woman, it means that you should have all these characteristics or attributes. You need to be principled, you need to be organized, you need to be wealthy. That wealthy one is what I'm really very interested in as well to talk about. We'll talk about that next time. You need to be empathetic, you need to be resilient as a woman. It is not all about having power over, but really the power with the way you share, the way you share your space, the way you bring people into your space, the way you use the talents, the skills that you have to build legacies, to impact on people's life, and to create a difference wherever you find yourself. That is the kind of woman we're talking about in the Women's Month. March is the Women's Month. Yes, thank you so much, Njideka. P for principled, O for organized, W for wealthy, E for empathetic, L for resilient. So this is very important that you as a woman, you as a man, you as an individual, because you're first a human before you're either male or female, that you develop guiding principles that will take you through life, that will help you to live intentionally. I shared a while ago that one of my life principles is, being true to myself. So let's try and unpack that principle. Remember, I said that, when you see any principle, it's always anchored on value system. So when I say I have the principle of being true to myself, what does that mean? First of all, one of my value system is being authentic. So when you're authentic, what does it mean? It means that you speak your truth. It means that sincerity is a value that I really love, is a value that I respect. And then even respect too, because respect is also part of being true to yourself. If you respect yourself as a human being, you wouldn't want to be someone else. You want to be who God has created you to be. Another value that I love so much is you see that they're all interconnected, really interconnected. Being efficient, being efficient. Whatever my hand finds to do, I do it judiciously. Even the Bible encourages us to do whatever our hands finds to do, we shall apply ourselves to it. We shall apply ourselves to it. So, what are some of those principles that you have in life? Some of us, some of the principle we have is to be happy no matter what. Now, this is very important, especially at a time like this. I remember after the election, the results were announced, there was this uneasy calm everywhere. And a number of people felt that, this is not the kind of result they expect to get. While some others, were rejoicing that this is the kind of result that they expect to get. But in all of this, what I'm trying to say is, if you're principled, you also know how to respect boundaries. You also know that violence is not an option for any. It's not an option for any situation, right? And that is very critical for us as a woman. If you're a power woman, you will need to create boundaries. You will need to know your boundaries in people's life, in situations, so that you don't overreach yourself. So, what kind of that's everywhere, Juru. So, what kind of principles do you have as a business or as a businessman, businesswoman? Do you have the principle of not cheating your customers or your clients? You see, some vendors thrive in lies, thrive in, cheating their customer. You've always heard of what I ordered versus what I got. Sometimes, yes, it could be the client's fault, but sometimes too, it's always the vendor not being sincere in what they are offering. So you know your products, you know your services, and you know that your products or services cannot do what it is you say that it is doing. And then you're still collecting money, lying, being insincere, being just, oh, that is a whole lot. You see that everywhere around. And now, would you say because everyone is doing it, then you will do it? No. If you're principled, you will not be afraid to stand out from the crowd. In fact, anyone who is principled would usually stand out from the crowd. You would notice that person immediately because there are certain characteristics the person would exhibit that would catch your attention. It would not be the usual. Hi, Roma, nice to have you here. It will not be the usual. Also, look at your business. What other value system could you have? Hard work pays. Some people want come easy. They want easy money. They want quick fame. And all of this is because they lack a grounded value system. And when you lack grounded value system, you can't be principled. Everything would go. You can't say no to certain things. Everything goes for you. Now, why is it important to be a principled person? Why is it important to live a principled life? The first thing I can just tell you very quickly is it keeps you out of trouble. It keeps you out of trouble because you would focus on the things that are important. You will focus on doing you. You will focus on your priorities. You won't have time to be poking your nose into other people's business. The second thing that you get out of being principled is that you stand out. You stand out, and you will attract like-minded people. Of course, people who like, living fake life, false life will not be attracted to you because you'll be unattractive to them. That's why sometimes when you see principles, you say, oh, that one, she's mean, she's wicked. And if you interrogate further, it will be because the person is principled. The person won't allow you to do certain things. Like if it's in an organization where, you have to sign in, you will come by 9 a.m. and you'll be signing in 7:30. But you know that you came by 9 a.m. You know that your resumption, your contract says you resume by 7:30 or 8. You come 9 or 9:30 because your boss is not around. You only show up when they can see you, eye service. You're not principled. So I want us, as we move into 2023, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect to get a different result. Can you begin to look at the set of principles that guide your life? Can you begin to look at the set of principles that guide your business? How do you show up for your business? What is your business noted for? What do you want your business to look like? What kind of brand voice do you want your business to have? So you need to know all of this. And when you're principled, it makes you to be focused. When you're focused, you wouldn't get yourself involved in the other people's success so that you become envious. No. I like what you said, Nteka. You said living audio life wouldn't bother me because I'm principled. You can't live an audio life if you're principled. And by the way, what do we mean by an audio life? An audio life speaks of fakeness. It speaks of things that are not real when you're not true to yourself. As an entrepreneur, would you be running an audio business that exists in your mouth and in the air and, nothing substantial about it? Rather than spend time living those kind of life, it's very important that you put that time building your business. You put that time building yourself to that person you would love to be. When you spend time in yourself, investing in yourself or in your business, you must always get what I call a return on investment. And there are different ways you can get this. You have increased capacity, you have increased knowledge of your business, you will find yourself growing. You find yourself growing. Growth doesn't just happen, it doesn't happen by coincidence. It's a very intentional process. And if you are principled as a human being, it's easier for you to create or build a legacy. Part of the problem we have in Nigeria is because we have leaders who are not principled. We have leaders who do not have good value system. And we are all, getting a feel of it. We are all getting a feel of it. So if you think that it doesn't matter, it's not just about you. It's not just about your life. Is not all about you. There are people in your circle that get to feel the impact of the kind of person that you are. And it's a spiral effect. It goes on and on. Your business, your organization, in the family, the relationship you're engaged with, they get to have a part of you. And so if that part of you is a part that doesn't have value system, that is worthy of emulation, what happens? Everybody starts getting that part of you. Look at Nigeria. Now it's like everything goes. People don't respect laws. All kinds of things are happening because the value system is almost eroded completely. So the key thing is that we be that change that we want to see. Most of us are pointing our hands and nose and mouth at the leaders. What about you in your space? How are you living that life that is worthy of emulation? How are you living that life that can create positive difference in your environment? So before you start pointing at your governors, before you start pointing at your House of Rep or president or whatever, look at yourself in your small space. Look at yourself in your small space. What are you doing in that small space? So Ozeman says here, principled people are usually not popular because people usually don't like your stance. As a principled person, you are supposed to stand your ground no matter what, especially when it comes to your values. There could be a bit of flexibility, because one of the key things about leadership is knowing how to be flexible, in as much as your flexibility doesn't make you go contrary to your value system or to your principle. But you're very right, Ozzy. People don't like principled people because they cannot manipulate you emotionally. They cannot make you do things that they want you to do. So think about it. We're all complaining about Nigeria. But if you in your own space, you get to do your own part, I get to do my own part, it becomes a spirit. We just have like a snowball effect. We have a snowball effect. And just look at this last elections. I like to point at it because this is what we've all experienced. And this is all what we can relate with. See the way people really turned out. We had, matured people who were coming out to vote for the first time. I'm not talking about the first time voters in terms of youth population, but in terms of matured population that were coming out for the first time to vote. Why? Because they felt that at this point in time, they needed to make a statement. They needed to have a change. They want a rebirth. But this is beautiful, and it should be a lifelong yearning. It should be a lifelong doing. That in every space you find yourself, you want to live it better than you met the space. Living better than good life, as Zig Ziglar would say. So this is a time for you to also look at yourself. Remember, this is a Women's Month. While we're celebrating our successes as women, looking at the gaps, I would always encourage us to start from doing the work from inside, looking at yourself internally. What needs to change? What can you do better? What kind of value system do you have? Some of us have not even spent our time to really understand ourselves. And you can't understand yourself without knowing the values that you hold there. What are the value systems that you have? What is it? So even as you're listening to me, I want you to take out time to write that. What values matter to you? What values make a difference in who you show up with? If you're not clear as to the values that holds true for you, it's even difficult for you to manifest your vision, because one, your value is tied to your vision. Your principle also helps you to implement your vision. And if all of these are not clear to you, then you will not even have an understanding too as to how to run and achieve your life goals. You will find yourself running round and round in circle. Ozioma says integrity. Integrity is one value that I also cherish. When you find people of integrity, you know that you are in a safe space. Sadly, a number of people are just throwing away integrity. Ozioma says, Asia Fakaigo, meaning that a good name is better than money. If we have people of integrity, all these insecurities we're having, all these scam issues we're having, we won't be getting as much as we are getting right now. Nigeria has a lot of laws, but it's in implementation. You find someone doing something wrong, the person feels that he or she can buy her way out or his way out. You think you can pay your way out. And when you have house helps, those of us that have house helps, housekeeper, domestic staff, how do you even treat them? If you're someone that is principled, yes, there are staff. Treat them right. You hear all kinds of stories on social media. You see all kinds of things. How people use hot iron and burn people's children. How people use, all kinds of funny, evil stories you hear these days. And you ask yourself, what is all of this in aid of? What is all of this in aid of? Hello, Pindali. Nice to have you here. What is all of this in aid of? So, even interpersonal relationship, there are certain things you wouldn't do to people if you have your principles right. You will treat others how you want to be treated. You will treat others how you want to be treated. But sadly, we see people, those who are nice to you, you go behind the scene and you want to stab them. And the thing is this: who told you that someone's light need to be dim for yours to shine brightly? It doesn't follow. We all can be shining our light. The more the light, the brighter the space. So why do you want anyone's light to go out? If you're in that space where you think people's light need to go out for yours to shine brightly, then you have a problem. Then you have a problem. Hard work pays. Some of us don't want to work hard. We just want to hit it big. Unfortunately, in our climate in Nigeria, people are looking for how to hit it big without working. You don't want to work hard. You just want to hit it in. You want to hit the billions, the millions. It doesn't work like that. Any sustainable process requires time to build. Anything good takes time to build. So be patient with yourself. Be patient with your business. Be patient with your career. Just keep your focus and keep doing the right thing. Keep showing up. Do not cut corners. Do not cut corners. Cutting corners doesn't pay. Yes, you may have quick results, but those results oftentimes are not sustainable. They're not sustainable most times. So why do you want to go that route? Why do you want to go that route? So I want to encourage us that living a principled life pays. And especially as women, we are vessels of value. We're vessels of continuity. And yes, father and mother have a role to play in the upbringing of a child, but oftentimes the mother is more invested in nurturing and caregiving, especially in Nigeria. In other climes, you find that there's somewhat of a balance. But by the nature of the structure we have in Nigeria, you find out that the woman is more tasked with doing the chores in the house, which includes even nurturing children. So if we want to change the value system, then we need to pay attention to what happens at the family level. What kind of value system are we as parents, male and female now, are we as parents giving to our children? Where did our children learn this habit of not wanting to work hard but wanting big money? Where did they learn this value system of not respecting people's boundaries? Where did they learn this value system of not respecting people? That one is a conversation for another day. That one is a conversation for another day. If you're principled, you learn to honor assets that has been given to you. It is important, very important, that we show up in the fullness of who we are. You need to show up in the fullness of who we are by making sure that we are living a life that is worthy of emulation. It is not easy, especially when you live in a corrupt society like Nigeria. It is not easy. You will see a lot of things that will tempt you. You will see a lot of things that will even make you question your values and make you look as if you're a fool. Because when, like Ozioma said, when you have good values, when you are principled, all of a sudden people see you as a troublesome one. Because you're not going to allow them to manipulate things. When you ask that things be done rightly, when you ask people to show up for the work, when you ask people to do what they have signed that they want to do, it becomes a problem. People want to get paid for doing nothing. You that's complaining about the leaders, you're also a leader in your space. That job you're working in, that organization you're working for, how do you implement what is given to you? You need them to be on your case all the time. Yet, this is what you signed up for. At the end of the month, your pay salary, you don't give it to your boss. But it's still a struggle for you to do the right thing. Principled. So welcome once again. If you're just joining us, we're just about wrapping up. We're having a conversation on the Women's Month, and this month of March, we're going to be talking about Power Woman. And I said that the power stands for an acronym. P there stands for principled. O for organized, W for wealth, E for empathetic, R for resilience. So if you are all of this, then you are a power woman. You're not the one that creates trouble everywhere. I'm not saying power woman is not the one that has so much energy to box people up and down and create problems. No. It's having these beautiful characteristics that make a difference in people's life. That is what we're talking about. And at this point, I want to use this opportunity to invite you to the She Speaks Summit. Who is excited to be invited to the She Speaks Summit? Oh my goodness. It's happening in April 28th and 29th, all the way in Lagos. And the theme of the summit is just believe. Just believe. Every manifestation starts with a dream. Just believe. Just believe. I tell you that once you can start off with believing, it makes a difference. It makes it. We're going to be looking at key things. We're going to be looking at some of the things that keep you distracted, that keep you running around in circles. We're also going to be looking at mastering your environment so that you can achieve your goals. It's a very interesting. I'm super excited for this conference for this year because we're also going to have a masterclass in VIP session on Thursday, the 27th of April. And we're having special sessions for coaches or consultants. So if you're a coach or you're a consultant and you are looking at structuring your business, in a way that yields income, you're looking at also building your capacity, there are specific skill set that you need to have, either as a coach or as a consultant. These are the two categories we're going to be focusing on. But we have a special session for these two categories of people, in addition to all the amazing things that will be happening. Would also be bringing to you amazing transformative leaders who will also be sharing from their wealth of experience. And, at the end of the 2 days or 3 days, depending on which of the packages you sign up for, you can't be the same. There will be a definite shift. One of the things I love about She Speak is the practicality of the knowledge that we share. Is one that you can readily run with. The practicality of it. It's one thing to transfer knowledge, it's another thing to transfer knowledge in a way that it can be applied. If you click on the link, it will take you to the She Speaks website and you can get more information on how to register for the She Speaks Just Believe Summit coming up in Lagos, April 28th and 29th. And on the 27th, we have a laser coaching session. In that session, this is only for our VIP participants. In that session, you come in with any business question you have. Any business question you have, just come in with it, and you can be sure that we're going to do justice to it, or any personal development questions that you have. So, trying to wrap up now, what are some of the things you're taking away from this conversation tonight? Queen Darlene says, God bless you, ma, for what you do for us. Amen. Thank you so much. And Jide says, people don't want to work, but they want to get paid. Ghost workers. Exactly. Queen says, I'm excited. I'm also excited too. What are some of your key takeaway from tonight's session? Remember, we started talking about the Women's Month of March, and the amazing thing you can do for yourself is to be a principled person. A principle is like your life compass. It is what directs your action. It's what determines how you show up, the kind of relationships that you keep. Some people would, based on their principles, they would not associate with certain persons. So the principles have to be good. It depends on the kind of value system you have. That's the kind of principle you develop. So if you're one that has a warped value system, you relate with people based on religion, based on ethnicity, based on race, then you really, have a lot of unlearning to do and relearning to do. I'm a Christian, but I do not restrict my relationship to just my faith. because I realized that, first of all, there is something in me that connects to the humanity in the next person. So let us keep all this religious ethnicity and all those kind of bigotry aside and really connect to the humanity in the next person. Osioma says, I'll continue to be authentic and to be true to myself. Amazing. Always says, I learned what power over stands for. Thank you so much. This is good. Osioma says, though I'm principled, I should also be flexible as a leader. That is really it. So one of the core things we need to do is less flexibility. So you don't say, okay, this is what I say and this is what stands. As long as you have a good argument as to why you think things should be done contrary, it's your business to sell it to me. And if I'm able to see what you're saying, nothing stops me from saying, okay, let's change the process and let's go with yours because you've been able to buy me over by your sound arguments, right? Always says, I also got deep insight about being principled. And that's it. Thank you so much for sharing that. And this is one characteristics I'm really very keen about, being principled. When you're a principled human being, you get a lot achieved. You can do a lot. You don't open your mouth anyhow. You calculate what you say. You hear more and you speak less. You don't put your mouth into everything. For some people, you see everything happening in people's lives. They're the first person to do this, first person to disseminate the information. That is energy sapping. The time that you're supposed to use to build yourself, to build your business, to build your family, you're spending it prognosing into things. And it will derail you. If there's one thing we want to do right this year, is for us to be focused. When you're focused, you'll be consistent, and there are a lot of things that you can achieve. There are a lot of things that you can achieve. And sometimes when it depends on your life principles. Don't get carried away, because sometimes people could mistake some of your principles for being stupid, and they will want to walk all over you. You need to be firm enough to say no. Remember I said when you're principled, you also have respect for yourself. Respecting yourself also means safeguarding yourself, protecting yourself, being kind to yourself, loving yourself, and showing people how to love you as well. You wouldn't stay around in toxic environment. And you don't have to respond to everything. One of the things I've learned just growing through life. Say growing, not just going. Growing through life is that I don't have to respond to everything. It's not all actions or all words that needs your response. There are some I would overlook, right? And whatever I do next, or the unfolding or the unveiling, would be the response to whatever it is you have done. Sometimes you just ignore. You just ignore certain things. It helps you to keep your mental sanity. So when you have principles, also be mindful of the kind of principles that you have. That they are not one that keeps you worked up, keeps you anxious, keeps you, in enmity with a lot of people. So also make sure that the principles you have, for me as a believer, my principles are actually guided by the Bible principles, kingdom principles. So I struggle to make sure that I put in practice what I hear and what I learn from the Bible. So what are your principles based on? It comes back to the value. And if you're a believer and the value and the Bible is your template, is your beacon, it makes a lot of difference. It makes a lot of difference. It really makes a lot of difference. It will become a part and parcel of you, and it shows up. I was reading the book of Nehemiah this morning, and a lot of things struck me. One of the things I want to quickly share is, when I say hear man, talk less, Nehemiah was mocked. Sanballat and Co mocked Nehemiah when he went to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem. And even before he went, when the Bible recorded that when he was laid in his heart, he did not go opening his mouth up and down. So you see, some of us need to learn the principle of, zipping up our mouths sometimes. Yes, some of us, the trouble we've gotten ourselves into, the trouble we've gotten our families into, is because of what we have said. Even to the younger generation, there was this short video clip I have of Apostle Selman when he was talking about learning, how important it is to learn from those that have gone before us. Some of us are not learning, some of us are not growing. Why? Because we have the wrong set of values. You're always quick to talk, you're quick to respond. You don't even know when you cross the line with people who are older than you are. You think it doesn't make a difference. Talk to anybody anyhow because of who you are, what you think you have achieved. And then you feel you can relate to people anyhow. So you have to be very mindful and intentional how you relate to people who are more experienced than you are. Who are more experienced than you are. One of the things that sets one doctor as apart from the other is the level of experience he brings to the table. Now, with your level of experience, if you're dedicated, you'd have seen more cases, you'd have more idea, you have more knowledge, you have more experience in treating a lot of diseases. And when you apply yourself and you're passionate about it, it makes a difference. Likewise, life. If you apply yourself to learning life lessons, not being too too quick to speak, observe it, honoring people and the access they give to you, it makes a lot of difference. For some people, your key thing is to correct everybody, both old and young. You'll find an older person. I've had several instances of this. You will see the person either sending you a message or talking, and I'm wondering, this person has really crossed the line. But I've learned not to respond to everything. Some I would respond, some I would not respond, but I will take note. When you're so quick to respond, you miss out the lessons. And it comes from a place of ego sometimes. You think you know it all. You think you know it all. And you miss the valuable lessons when we talk about active listening. So if there's one principle you want to build, is on, I love this one you said, was the honoring access. Some of us have lost it there. If there's one principle you want to build, is being true to yourself. And being true to yourself involves you being authentic, you investing in yourself, giving yourself the opportunity to be the best version of yourself. Some of you just lack clarity. You're jumping, you do this one. You see this person doing this one, you jump into that business. You see this person doing this activity, you jump into it. It creates confusion. Some people cannot even speak the truth. You lie. When you find yourself, when you tell one lie, you tell the second lie to cover that lie, to tell lie to cover, it becomes a complex web. It becomes a complex web. You just focus on yourself and building yourself. Honestly, is one way you can show your power. It's not by bossing people around. No, it's by being the best version of yourself. And just for me to wrap up, I love what Ozioma dropped about honor access. When I talked about honoring access, that's another conversation for another day. When someone gives you the bridge to cross over, be mindful how you use that bridge. Don't burn the bridge. You might need that bridge at some point to come back. Even if it's to visit old friends and they realize the bridge, you burnt it when you crossed. So be very mindful. Don't allow your perceived success, your perceived status, everything is a perception. Don't allow it to get into your head. and you begin to treat people anyhow, dishonoring people who gave you access because of not knowing yourself or not being principled. You see a number of people living, saying one thing and living a different life because you want to do content, you want people to applaud you, you want to show that. Why do you have that need to be in a certain way? Do you? As long as you know the you version is, remember that every day you keep getting better as long as you're making an effort in growing yourself. The you that someone encounters, by the time the real, your authentic self comes out, is a different ballgame altogether. So I hope you got some values from our conversation tonight. We could just go on and on. I want to say a very big thank you to those who turned up tonight. It's been an exciting conversation, honestly. These are some of the things we don't get to talk about every day, but these are values that are really very important. They are values that make a difference. When we're talking about the birthing of a new Nigeria, then you also know that you have a role to play. One of the key things you can do is by becoming the best version of yourself. That is the kind of Nigeria, you be the best version of yourself because that is the version of you that Nigeria needs to experience. Can you imagine if we all are principled, we have solid, grounded value system? We won't be encountering most of the problems we are. But of course, not everyone can do the right thing. But can you be determined to be that difference? Can you be determined to be that change agent wherever you find yourself? Focus on creating value. Can you create a value chain with whatever you do? Don't let it be fake. Make sure it is authentic. You're not under any pressure to, validate anything to anyone. When you stop being under pressure, because no one is putting you under pressure, the one putting yourself under pressure to show up. You want to show people that you're rich, you're successful, you're this, you're brilliant, you know what you're doing, and then you get yourself into all kinds of things. Once you start that web, it is difficult to get out of it. But when you're intentional, there are a lot of things you can unlearn, and there are a lot of things you can learn. I want to appreciate you all for making this a very interactive conversation. Yes, Judeka, change starts from us. Chiamaka says, thank you, man. God bless you, and God bless you too. Izine, God bless you too. Ozima says, thank you so much for tonight's nuggets. I got so much value. I'm excited. Izine says, having principles. Moses says, thank you, Young, for tonight's training. Jideka says, thank you so much, man. I got so much value. And I'm excited that you got a lot of value. This is one program I'm always excited to show up for. Now, next week, Friday, I would not be having a live appearance because I'll be having the Broken but Remolded conference in Netherlands. So if you're in Europe or in Paris, please do join us for the Broken but Remolded. It's on walking in purpose. You can't walk in purpose if you're not principled. Come, let's have a conversation. This is an annual program that happens once in a year. We're having it in 5 locations this year. We're starting off with Netherlands. From Netherlands, we'll be going to the US, and then we're back to Enugu, Lagos, and we'll wrap up in Abuja. There is nothing God cannot do. We're going to have a lot of insightful time in words and in songs. We'll praise, we'll worship, and of course, we'll learn and fellowship together. So if you're in any of these locations, there's a link. Please use the link to register. The link will be in the chat box. You can just click on the link and register. Registration is completely free. We're going to be having amazing ministers in words, ministers in songs. In fact, in Enugu, we're going to have M&M Revelation. If you know Hallelujah City, they are coming there. We're going to have Minister Jane C and team. In Lagos, we're going to have Mercy Chinwo. I'm just excited. In Abuja, we're going to see Minister Victor Thompson. Oh my goodness. So it's going to be an awesome time of worship. This is not one program you want to miss. So, time. So if you look at the e-flyer, there is time for each of the location is different depending on the location. So I don't know which of the time. Just look at the e-flyers on my wall, and then depending on the location, they're different times. It's not the same time. We have Enugu 22nd, we have Lagos 25th, we have Abuja 30th, and the timing are quite different. So okay, Enugu starts by, I think it's 3 p.m. 3 p.m. will be. Enugu is 3 p.m. So Enugu is on the 22nd of March at 3 p.m. We should start by 3 p.m. It's about a 3 to 4 hour program. It's going to be an amazing time of praise and worship. So you don't want to miss that. Thank you so much. It's been an amazing time. Next week, because of Broken Monday, like I said, I won't be here live. We're going to have a replay. And if possible, I may put out a recorded version for just that day to talk about organized. Let's see how it goes. I love you all and I celebrate you. And I look forward to seeing you in a recorded version next week. But of course, I'm always going to be showing up. Thank you so much, Mr. Shula. Says he'll be there. Yes, 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 yes. I look forward to seeing you. Chiamaka, look forward to seeing you too. And God bless and keep each and every one of you. Have a beautiful and blessed weekend. Until we see next time, God bless you, God keep you, and God favor you. I love you all so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.